Welcome back to Women Who Move, the podcast where we sit down with women who are shaping industries, they're changing communities, and also creating generational courage through resilience and leadership. Today's guest is someone who commands an enormous respect across the legal profession here on the Gold Coast. She's a legal practitioner and the director of Mia Behlau and Associates, a commercial litigator, a mother of three, a mentor, a community advocate, and a woman who is one of the most influential female voices in law on the Gold Coast. But behind the titles and all the achievements, it's also someone who's really deeply grounded in family, in service, and she's got a really big kind of powerful voice for lifting other women up as she climbs. Mia Behlau, welcome to Women Who Move.
Wow, thank you, Katrina. That was a really nice introduction.
It is. I probably could have said more. When I was doing the research, the list of things you have done, your IMB is pages. And I will say, even today, when you walk into the room, people do feel your presence. There's a strength there, but there's also an intense warmth. I'm curious, kind of before, and obviously we'll ask about your career because that's a big accomplishment, but before the courtroom, who was young Mia?
Well, she was a little girl that grew up on the Gold Coast by the beach. So I am a third generation Gold Coaster. There's not many of us.
So no, there's not.
Our children are fourth, so we're well ingrained in the Gold Coast community.
Yep.
We grew up doing surf life saving, so Northcliffe is our club.
And that's where your daughter goes now?
She's there now,
yeah.
Spent lots of time just surfing, and I've got three brothers, so we were...
Are you one girl of three brothers?
Yep.
Oh, my, this is where the strength comes from.
Yes, yep, so learned how to fight early.
Yep.
And then, so...
What school did you go to here?
I went to St. Vincent's Primary and then St. Michael's for high school.
Love,
Yep. So we've... and I've never left. I had sort of dreams of going to London or Sydney and, working in the big corporate firms, but... There's just something that's always kept me here on the Gold Coast.
It's the beach. It's the
lifestyle.
So,
the lifestyle, all of that. We've got great family and friends here and connections. And so I guess that was another big reason to stay is I'm come from a family of lawyers as well.
Yeah.
So I guess it does help when you've got
the support
around you. So, young Mia is sort of grown up here.
I'm picturing like a really smart beach bum who's like always, riding their pushies to the surf club.
That was us.
That's amazing. It definitely helps me see the shape. I get the warmth, but I also get the strength.
Yeah.
God, having three brothers like you.
Yeah, it was intense and but lots of fun.
I'm one of three girls, which sometimes I do think is trickier, just because we either love each other or hate each other. We can't.
Yeah, girls are different.
Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish.
I don't know how I would have gone with.
You've got
sister.
two girls.
I've got two girls,
and I've got two girls as well. And
well, my girls are quite. They're 10 years apart.
Yep.
They used to fight like cat and dog when they were a bit younger, but now they just love each other so much.
I see on socials it is actually really special because how old is your youngest daughter?
10.
Yeah, so your youngest is the same age as my oldest.
Yeah, that's right.
But I remember now when you would describe your littlest daughter, she has similar spark that my littlest daughter has. It's that small youngest little short queen that just runs my house.
Yes, that sounds like my Mila.
yeah, I see that. So I'll go back to the law side then. Law is such a demanding profession, not just intellectually, but emotionally and personally. It's such a high pressure and obviously deeply competitive. For such a long time, there wasn't a lot of space for women and for women to lead. That's one of the things that I think you've really shaped the Gold Coast in that sense. When you were building your career, did you ever feel like you had to be louder or maybe less emotional? I guess my question is more about, did you have to be less feminine to get into those rooms? Because you're so warm now, yet so strong. What's some of the things that you kind of had an issue with in that sense when you started your profession?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because I've been very lucky with the people and my colleagues that I've gone through the legal industry with. So when I first started as an article clerk.
Where at?
It was in a corporate firm up in Brisbane.
Yep.
And that would have been around the year 2000.
Even like what people, I guess, who aren't on the Gold Coast wouldn't know that, you would have really had to have started in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a huge, as I said, there wasn't a lot of space. No. There weren't a lot of people doing what you're doing now. Well, there weren't.
No, there wasn't. And so it was a big slug in terms of having to get up very early in the morning, jumping on that train.
Oh, that train ride. Yeah.
And then at 21, I was doing that and I was pregnant with my first child.
Yeah.
So that also created its own challenge, but there weren't many females in,
if any, yeah.
In the firm that I was Actually, I think I was probably the only female lawyer back in those days.
Especially leadership roles. I think there would be you can't, I always say you can't be what you can't see.
Correct.
And
and it was interesting, and I've told this story a couple of times, but it wasn't the men who were difficult or creating barriers.
Yeah.
It was actually women.
Yeah.
And I had this situation after I had Oliver, my first boy, my first child. I had the laws or the rules that the Law Society kept back in those days was that if you're doing your articles of clerkship, which is like your apprenticeship as a lawyer, and that goes for 2 years. And so if you took more than 4 consecutive weeks off in that 2-year period, you had to start again.
No.
So I couldn't take any time off after I had my baby. And so I had to take him to work with me. And that meant into the courtrooms on occasions. And so I would have to put the bassinet under the table, do my appearance, and then go out. And I mean, that was humiliating a little bit for me, but I had no other options. Yeah. But at that time, there was a chief judge of a particular court who was female, and she was so offended by me having to bring the baby to court, and she would scream saying, "Get that baby out of my courtroom," whereas all the male judges had absolutely no problem with it.
Yeah.
And so
I'm going to cry. I'm like getting so emotional. I'm actually getting emotional because I had another woman on the other day, and same thing. She went back to work 2 weeks. Who was it, Holly? And it sucks sometimes. I went back to work 10 days later. This really resonates with me, and I hate that now so many episodes in that there are so many of us women that went back to work. We didn't have a choice. I know that looking back I wouldn't change it.
Of course.
But the fact that there's no other option.
We had no choice.
You can't just stop your career, but you are expected to be both. Oh my God, that's...
Yes.
I can't believe you did that.
So we've been through all of that, and I've got to say, I think my male colleagues have been nothing but respectful and very polite. So
that makes me sound.
I haven't experienced any any
pushback
gender bias or anything like that. I actually think that the men have been pretty supportive.
Amazing.
But back in those days, I think there was a higher percentage of male lawyers than female, but the statistics have now changed. I think we've got 53% female, or maybe even more now.
It does feel that way.
And the girls are really outdoing the boys, and I just hope with the change in these statistics that the females are going to be as respectful to the males as they have been to me going through.
I think as well, like it would have been, not to make excuses for the women, but I had a very similar pushback early on in my career as well, just being, 20, 21, starting my career and having that same, like you should be kind of being trying to be pigeonholed, like you shouldn't be in the sales side or the management side, you need to be kind of behind the scenes, like very much that nurse doctor analogy, or not that I love front of house, we call our receptionist a director of first impressions, which I love, but that you should be in this reception space. And I think a lot of the time it's the age. I think a young female, as not being able to be what you can't see, a lot of the time it's a fear. Yep. Women will act out in that way through fear. And I'm just hoping the more examples that they have, our daughters won't feel that way. Like you would have made a lot of women feel lesser than being there. Your presence would have been so hard for them to maybe regret not doing things or but I can't imagine your little boy. He's like in the carrier when you put in the car, like the clip in, clip out.
Yeah. And pushing him down George Street in Brisbane in a little bugaboo.
Do you ever take him back and be like, this is where I went and this is where
I don't think he's got any interest to see the inside of a courtroom.
No. I'll move on to my next question. So I think many women who are listening will really connect with the idea that softness can sometimes not be seen in leadership, especially in an industry like yours, like mine, and that strength is usually mistaken for hardness. That is one thing that obviously is a really big thing for me to express to our listeners, is that it is that softness versus strength that you have which makes you a powerhouse. Is there a way that you can explain how you do lead with both strength and heart? And what do you think women in leadership now are doing different that is changing that space?
Yeah, it took a long time for me to develop that softness and have that perspective, because, yes, when you do start to rise in those leadership roles, you want to be
strong,
seen, heard, and you think visually, or if you act in a particular way or you speak in a particular way, that is how you command respect or attention, or be a leader. And I've kind of learnt over the years that that's probably not always the right way to do it, because every person is different. Every person learns in a different way. Every person perceives the world in a different way, and people work in different ways. And so I think as I've got older and the more time I've spent being that leader or teaching people, because there's a lot of learning in our industry. I do my research before people come on. I'm really bad. A lot of the time the reading the questions freaks me out. So I go onto your socials, I go through your comments, I do a lot of deep diving into who you are. And that is one thing that has been said about you across the board, is that you pull people up with you. Yeah.
And that you teach and lead by showing other people. Like you are a teacher. Yeah. Almost your leadership style is teaching.
Yeah. Nurturing.
And that is very much said about you.
Yeah. And I like that, because, that you can't keep anyone forever, and you've got to teach and nurture so that person until they're ready to stand on their own 2 feet, and they can go in a way that they then do the same for others. And that's really, that hierarchy that we have in the legal profession. And and I do enjoy that. And oh, look, I've mentored.
You've had your heartbreaks.
I've had my heartbreaks, and I've mentored a lot of young lawyers. And when Celine came to me, I'd said to one of my partners at the time, I was like, I am done. I just want to sit in my room and do my work, and someone else underneath me can do all of this. And they said, oh, we've got someone. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. And anyway, I did it. And Celine has been like just the best lawyer that I've been able to raise up and through the ranks, and we're off doing it together now.
I love that you brought her into the studio as well, because I do a lot of things, and I bring Holly and Pen and Jade in, and I don't think obviously I've interviewed everyone, but you have no idea how many women who I've interviewed share the exact same space. When we bring someone up, we give it all.
Yeah.
Then when they leave us, it is like a relationship breaking down. I am the same. I'm in the fetal position under my desk. Whenever we lose an associate or a PA, even a PA, like I'm still friends with all of my old PAs, but I'm in a ball under the desk. Holly and Pan are just getting me up, and I'm like, it's okay, Katrina. And I've been in that moment. I've been in that moment where you're just sitting there going, this isn't worth it. We don't, and I don't know if it's a male or female. I've never seen any of my male competitors be in the fetal position crying over a PA leaving, but we give so much to our people. And yes, it's not their fault. They've got to move on. You can't,
That's just a natural part of it.
But still, every damn one breaks your heart. And
well, you're a nurturer as well. I think that's the point, and that's our style, and you do it with love and conviction and purpose. So.
And I don't want them to see me. Like sometimes I had one leave. I spoke to her this morning on our way here, and she left to go on and be her own boss.
Yeah.
And I speak to her like once a month, once every 2 months, and I couldn't let her see me. I was like, I need you to go and be a boss and be a queen yourself. But once she left, I was crying. I was like, this is happening again. Like this is, I swear I get broken up with once every 2 years. But yeah, now I'm going to bring this back to the softness. Now you have built an incredible career within the legal profession. But one thing, as you've just said, you are really known for mentoring young lawyers. You're also really well known for supporting community organisations. And at the same time, you've raised a family with 3 kids. As I said, they've got different age brackets. You've also done, you've almost done diapers, gotten out of it, diapers again.
Yeah.
What has becoming a mother, how has becoming a mother changed you? Not just personally, but as a leader, as a woman. And do you think that being a mother has not just softened parts of you, but maybe made you stronger in other ways you didn't expect?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it wasn't the kids, they are actually my why. So they have, given that purpose. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I hear from a lot of people when they meet me, they're going, oh my God, you're so nice. Everyone says that. You're such a bulldog. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I've heard the story. I'm like, how
there's
could you have both?
There's 2 opinions of me, and she's either a real bulldog or she's really kind. So it just depends on how much time you spend with me, probably.
You do have a real get in, get it done. I'll share this little tidbit. When I first met Mia, it would be 5 a.m. in the bucketing down rain with her screaming at me to pick up that sandbag and run another 100 metres. The strength from this pocket rock, I'm like, mate, it's cold and rainy, and you just I can see that will not give up. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You will push through at any cost. And you think,
there's a job to be done. You get it done.
Yeah.
But so going back to your question, just from community, okay, and how that has changed with children. So interestingly, I think the community aspect, I mean, it's always been there. So my mum was in local government and here on the Gold Coast, and we were always at different events and supporting community. So I guess that's deeply ingrained into me. And the most important thing is you've got to give to others. I mean, it's even like the legal profession. It's a privilege that we've got those roles because we're helping people who literally have no idea about the law, and they're relying significantly on you for guidance and trust and doing the right thing for them. So I guess that's something that I've always had. But I mean, I sit on a number of boards at the moment.
Yes, I know. Yep.
And all of those boards are obviously, well, not obviously, but to assist the community. So I sit on the St. Hilda's Foundation board, and that's because of my daughter. And so in that sense, I thought, well, I'm a part of this school community. How can I give back? How can I improve it in any way? I'm going to be at that school or around the people at that school for a really long time. So I thought if there's something that I can give, I'll certainly do it there, because
it's also about empowering young women and what they do, what that foundation does is just remarkable.
Yes, it opens doors for girls, and it they can dream, but we'll help them achieve.
Yes.
And that's really what we want to do there. And then I guess the same. I've just recently stepped down from the board of the Queensland Law Society. I held that director position for I think 2-ish years. And that, again, that was driven by my desire to help my colleagues in the legal profession and make it better, make things easier, make things more transparent, help people when they need help, because our industry is riddled with mental health issues because of the intense pressure that the job places on us. Because if you think about it, your clients come to you with a problem, we take that problem on for them and we help solve it. And there's a lot of clients with a lot of problems, so that's a lot of burden on our shoulders. So, so I guess that's, having the children, I guess it just directs you in a different path. But
I think you became more fierce. Yeah. There's a fierceness.
And confident.
Yeah.
I'm just going, well, I'm going to do this for you guys, and if no one else is going to do it. And that's probably one of my biggest problems. It's like you don't see anyone else putting their hand up to do something. I'm like, all right, I'll just do it. Just give it to me. We'll get it done.
There's I know I've sent you these questions. I send everyone the questions prior to, but as you're speaking, I have a question that I'm going to replace this one with. as a leader and as someone who mentors young women, young men, who name one person that really shaped your career. I feel like I would guess who maybe he is, but name one person that has kind of, you look back in your career and go, wow, that was someone who really motivated me, inspired me, pushed me, helped me through something. What's one of those leaders to you? So I didn't send this to you.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to think because I didn't really have all that many role models, but I guess my mum really did shape me in a lot of ways because, I mean, she's got 3 times the amount of energy that I.
Really?
Oh my God, talk about a pocket rocket. That woman is a pocket rocket. So I mean, I guess it's kind of like imprinting, isn't it? Like you do what you see, and so I guess mum really kind of shaped who I was,
showing you what could be.
But then I guess I kind of did it on my own, Katrina. Like I didn't have a mentor. There was no girls or females above me. The male partners in the law firm, they were always, they were very generous with their time and training.
There was still, I don't see you doing a lot of long lunches. And a lot of like Friday beers at, that's not your vibe. It's like I'm going to a charity gala or I'm speaking at this. Like that is where I see the difference there.
Yeah.
I was going to say someone like, and obviously we're a female feminism podcast, but there's one person that I know that is really, and we had Hayley on who talked about sometimes having a really supportive husband, sometimes having a husband who really understands you and lets you lead, but also knows when to come in and protect you. I do feel like these big boss women have these men that I don't know where you pick them up from. But
I know. Well, he actually is my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have had.
He's a lawyer too.
Yeah. I don't know. I always said I'd never marry a lawyer. So we've got generational Gold Coast lawyers. That,
I think your youngest daughter will be.
But my middle daughter is studying law and she's working in my law firm. We're going again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Ron has been a significant support and, funny, like he got together, without telling me and got onto a really good girlfriend of mine who, I don't know if you've interviewed her. Have you, Ingrid Bonner, who created Homebody?
I will put her
on your list.
Yes, I would love amazing. That. Oh, yes. So, Holly, write that down.
So those two conspired to nominate me for an award, which I would never nominate.
I can't see you nominating yourself.
This
but
is not a Mia thing to do.
But you're not like jumping, trying to have the limelight. That's not your vibe.
That's not my vibe at all.
I love that they did that.
So they did. They nominated me for, I think it was Gold Coast Businesswoman of the Year.
Yep. There's some big women that have won that.
Yeah, so I was runner-up.
Oh my goodness.
That, last year.
Do you know most people have to go in that like multiple times to then you got runner-up, first go.
Yeah, so that was really that was a really cool process, and I probably, as I said, would never have done it myself. But Ron believes in me. He can see these things, and he pushes me along in the days where I just think, oh,
what am I gonna? I'm tired. It's one thing that a lot of the women share is that I'm not saying that you have to do it on your own, but I think sometimes when you're at that crossroads.
Yeah.
And I had a girlfriend who's just recently had a breakup, and I said, you need to look at the next 10 or 20 years. You're either going to do it alone or you're going to do it with someone by your side. And the women that I've been interviewing, the ones that are the most successful, have very much had those very supportive husbands who have been on that ride with them, who have made that conscious decision. Yeah. When I want you to look at that boyfriend or that situationship or that husband and be like, are you going to have my back over the next 10, 20 plus?
And not feel intimidated by it or jealous for the success, because I see it a lot. If a woman is more successful, whether it's in a position or financially, men can feel intimidated or de-emasculated. And that's a challenge. But
your husband's a big deal too, but I just don't think that.
I think he's a way bigger deal in the legal profession than I am. I mean,
I think you're a bigger deal on the Gold Coast. It just depends where you look at it. Like so many people knew who you were when I was telling people around the office, and I was reaching out to your girlfriends, and the guest that was on last week. Like there's you're also known within kind of the female community, which is, and I don't think many of them would have known Ron.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I will try and finish up because I know you're very busy. Now, guys, we like to finish the episodes with a bit of a quick fire round. It's fine. I think you'll have a bit of fun with this. So I did have some prepared quick like fire round questions, but I've thrown them out because I think I can do better on the fly.
Cool, let's go.
What is your coffee order?
Skinny latte.
Oh, okay, with normal milk? Like skinny milk? Yeah.
Like
no, like oat milk. No matcha.
No,
okay.
Just the
what do you do to work out?
Hot Pilates 5 days a week.
Wow, okay. Where is your go-to restaurant to eat at on the Gold Coast?
Well, I'm spending a lot of time at Noodle in Broadbeach.
Oh my God, curry, the chicken.
The chicken, but no, you got to go the squid. The squid is the best with the chili.
Okay, I work around the corner from that, so I'm in.
Yes.
Are you an early riser or a late nighter?
Early riser.
Yep. Podcast or book?
Neither.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you have such a short attention span when it comes to personal stuff?
Yep. What's your cocktail order?
Margarita.
Ooh, spicy.
Tommy's margarita, spicy. Yeah, I love a spicy.
When was the last time you were scared?
I think I was petrified when I decided to start my own business, and the concept of where am I going to get a client from? Because a commercial litigator cannot do a business plan for attracting clients. Like you don't know when you're going to get sued, and you don't know when someone's going to need to be sued. So that was really daunting. And my husband gave me exactly the same advice that I gave him when he started his own business, because he had the same fear. And he was like, don't worry, things are just going to start showing up in that diary of yours. And as it turns out, it did.
So, okay, last question. If you could sit down and have dinner with anybody in the world, who would you sit down and have dinner with?
Dead or alive?
Can be either.
Well, I mean, I think Michelle Obama is pretty spectacular. I mean,
that's who I said.
She is a boss and a compassionate woman, a real giver. So she certainly inspires me. And I love being around smart women, and I love being around people that, can teach you stuff or challenge you in different ways. So she's definitely a woman that I would love to meet.
Oh, I love that you said that, because I said that. So,
cool.
Look, Mia, this conversation has been incredibly moving. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom. You are an example of someone who is really kind of setting the bar and creating the spaces for women in the legal profession and beyond that. And to everyone listening today, if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a woman who inspires you. This is Women Who Move. I'm Katrina, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.